That is Queen from Lungomba. Sikicheza through right here on Baze radio.co.ke. The name of the show is Play by Play. Mr. Bill in the building.
Ronnie Randy is what they call me.
Yeah, Ronnie, ulikutupeleke Diamond League kiasi, yeah?
Yeah, so the Diamond League is happening.
Yeah.
And kama kawaida as the 254 residents. Lazima tutenge wakati.
Tukitenga
kwa hii mradi.
Mradi wa mbio.
Mradi wa marathon. Because that is what we pride ourselves as Kenyans.
Yeah.
But looking at the 1500 meters men.
Yes.
So in first place was a guy called Jacob. The first name is a bit tricky, but he was called Jacob all the way from Norway.
Yakufu.
Unaweza
sema Yakufu na Kiswahili.
Yeah. So but coming in strong in second place
yes.
was Cheriot Timothy.
Our very own. So he was back by he came in second just by a matter of few seconds. Yeah.
Otherwise Jacob angelala kidogo angekuwa amepitwa. But coming in third was a man from the US of A. But we also saw another Cheriot Reynolds coming in at 7th. What I can say about this is that Cheriot Timothy tried. And also kudos to Cheriot Reynolds.
Yeah.
We heard what Kipchoge said when he landed back in the 254.
After ametoka Manchester
kuona Liverpool ikifanya ile kitu.
Amen.
And Kipchoge said, yes, we can always congratulate people for winning.
And participating also.
But participating also is key because that person has worked to get there. All the way to the 5,000 meters men.
Yes.
Kenya didn't see the top 3 spots,
but
we came in closely at number 4. Kipkorir Nicholas was at number 4. Now the thing that bothers me about this top 3 is not Kenya missing, is Ethiopians topping it all. Man. So Ethiopians number 1, number right? 2, number 3, then Kenya number 4, then Ethiopia number 5.
What I've been saying all along, we should ina kwenye Kenya pale. The prime guy number 1, ule mwenye anaweza mreplace number 2, then the other guy number 3. But sasa for us, we are not even there. We are not even...
No, don't worry. Tutatenga hela kwa imradi. Mabilioni tutatenga. Tutatenga. But you're mentioning to me something about Mora.
Yes. Mora did that thing again. And this was in 800 meters.
Yes.
When it comes to women. And I'm really becoming a big fan of Mora nowadays. Mary Mora, she won that one with a time of 1 minute 56 seconds, 56 microseconds. Then another Kenyan mwenye alikuwa hata number 8, hakuwa hata top 8. So the rest was from Gaborone. We had Georgia. Then the rest were from the other country. But it was interesting to see Mora doing it again and again. Because now this is like a third race consecutively. So she won the Olympics, the gold medal in 800. Then the Diamond League, which was still in France, like the after party of the Olympics, also she won 800. And now in Brussels again, the Wonder Diamond League, pia ameshinda that one on the 800 meters. So Mora anashine, huh?
Yeah, ni ukweli.
Yes.
I'm seeing some spots here for the Wonder Diamond League, which by the way is happening in Brussels, Belgium.
Yes, is it Brussels or Brussels? Depends na kizungu yako.
Ina depend. Kwani utasema Belgium.
Si Belgium.
In Belgium. There you go. So the Diamond League obviously kicked off at the 13th.
Yeah.
It's gonna go all the way to the 14th of September. 13th of August.
Yes.
If I'm correct.
Yes.
And naona mchezo zingine hapa hivi zenye Kenya hatupatikani that do not involve any running.
We are never there.
And I'd love to actually inquire as play-by-play as Baze Radio.
Yes.
As a member, as a huge member of
the British Council in quotes or the Kenyan Council in quotes.
Yes. You, the listener, do you think that we should be participating in some of these events? Kwa sababu unaona kama USA inaweza toka Olympics na wajashinda marathon ama sprint wameshinda labda mbili.
Lakini wanakuanga kwa 100 meters and 200 meters.
Yes, but when it comes
4x4.
Yes, but when it comes to their collective medals,
they're number 1. Yes.
Because they have managed kutenga wakati kwa mradi wa sports to invest their time, their money, their resources. Hapa 254, don't you think we are able? Because if it is talent, we have a plethora of talent.
I always remember this the days in school. In school we had everything. We had gymnastics. Nakumbuka kuna siku nimepiga soma nikaanguka na shingo. Like tulikuwa tunaweka zile maganda za ndizi chini, it's like ni mattress. And we had good guys who will do the somersault, the flips, the back flips, the what. Tulikuwa na pole vault, tulikuwa na high jump, tulikuwa na ile netwanga long jump, but at the national level I've never seen that except Yego mwenye anakuanga different. I've never seen another person doing anything else. Inakuwa tu mbio is where to make all our mind. And in recent years, we have athletes who come from outside the country to come and train with us. Alafu wanatushinda.
Unfortunate, yeah?
Yes, and then you ask yourself, what the hell is going on when it comes to the infrastructure and the priorities of the sports ministry in Kenya? Murkomen.
Sai ni Murkomen.
Sai ni Murkomen.
So sawa basi, you send in those replies
on 0716250933. But before we go and we come back, Amos Serem alibaki ameshinda 3000 meters steeplechase with a time of 8 minutes 6 seconds 90 microsecond. And then tukakuwa na Biwot Abraham alikamina at number 4 and tukamaliza na Wilberforce alikamina at number 12 on that race.
Kudos to them for winning and participating.
Yes, so next up tusikize nasikia kudance Moji Shot Baba, Jabidi na Timeless Nowhere. That is Otuka Kagwa Mungai kicheza through right on baze.co.ke. Play by play is the name of the show. Mr. Bill in the building.
Ronnie
Niambie. Ali kickoff. Mafanso
PM East African time.
Nakwambia mafanso wa Manchester wamekaza. Unasikia kukaza? Like wako zile za like
Mr. Billy.
Yeah.
Talk for yourself, my brother. Talk for yourself.
So in game week 4, yeah? Out of the 4 games, Manchester United only secured 1 win. Ilikuwa game week 1. They won against Fulham kwa 1-0. So game week 2, it didn't go as planned.
Yes.
Brighton wakafanyile kitu 2-1. Game week 3, Liverpool wakafanyile kitu 3-0. But now all hopes they are on this squad ya Manchester United. But before you look at the squad of Manchester United, so nikiangalia Southampton real quick, in goal tuko na man like Aaron Ramsdale, then tuko na Sugwara, alafu tuko na Jan Benmarek, tuko na Jack Stevens, tuko na Tyler Dibling, tuko na Matheus Fernandes, tuko na Dons, tuko na Leslie Ogwechuku, then tuko na Kyle Peters, tuko na Ben Diaz, alafu tuko na Archer. So they are playing ile system ya 3-5-2. Yes. And then on the bench real quick nikiangalia tuko na Alex McCarthy, the original goalkeeper. Lallana is back again in the Premier League manze. Alafu tuko na Ryan Fraser also on the bench, tuko na Adam Armstrong, and then tuko na Bellis, alafu tuko na Taylor, tuko na Aribo, not forgetting a man like alafu tuko na Stewart na Cornet. Manchester United real quick.
Interesting enough, at the post is the usual Andre Onana.
Alikuwa apigwe asalimia Uganda,
Alikuwa asalimia Uganda mbaya. At left back is Diogo Dalot.
Yes.
Lisandro Martinez at Delit are partnering at the center back. Mazraoui is standing it at right back. Now there's a slight change in midfield. We have Kobe Mino and Christian Eriksen. The Danish player is making his debut for Manchester United in the 2024-2025 season.
Yes.
For the first match, we have Ahmad Diallo, Captain Bruno Fernandes, Joshua Zagzi, and the one and only Starboy.
The MBE. Member of the British Empire.
Marcus Rashford.
Yes.
At number 10.
Yes.
So in their bench, you have Alit Bayindir, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, 5-time Champions League winner Casemiro, new signing Manuel Ugarte, Academy star Collier, Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony, and another Academy star Whitley.
Yeah. Ukisema Anthony nafueke swag, the fantastic, the Brazilian.
we are here to prove that.
We are here to prove that.
Yes. So just a real question.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. Who do you think is an actual threat in this Manchester United squad? Is it the whole squad? Is it a single player? Is it the whole team?
I feel like 2 players, they're going to be a threat, and they have a point to prove.
Okay.
So Delete, during the UEFA Nations League, he made a couple of mistakes in 2 consecutive games that led to 2 goals versus the teams that the Netherlands were playing against, right?
Yes.
So I feel like him, despite making those errors, a lot of people were expecting him not to start today versus the Saints in the sense that he made mistakes, so we should learn, and when he's ready, he's going to play. So I feel he's like one player who's going to say that I'm the best in what I do, and this is how I do it. Then Joshua Zagzi, he has that anger of goals, or say that he has the appetite of scoring goals. So I feel like today he's going to be on the score sheet. I'm glad to see Amad Diallo in the team again, so he's going to provide the assist. Also, he's likely to score. But also Eriksson, his first start, he's a creative player, so at least Manchester United now they have Bruno and Eriksson to create the chances. Ahmad to to push forward, and Zagzi to score. Rashford, please listen to my prayer. Leo uchangamke tafadhali.
Sio mambo mingi. Now in this Southampton side, they have a front line of Brereton Diaz, and in their midfield they have Fernandes, and Flynn Dons, and Leslie Ugochukwu.
Yes.
Those are people that Manchester United need to watch out clearly.
Yeah.
Because they seem like they are not a threat, but in actual sense, they are a threat. On their bench, they have a man like Adam Armstrong.
Yes, Armstrong.
Adam Armstrong is strong.
Typical number 9. And one thing about him is he has a proper eye for goal. So Manchester United need to watch out for him when he comes on, because he surely will. So you said Ramsdale alisema kitu.
So Ramsdale made a comment of what Arteta told him right after he left Arsenal.
Yes.
Is that they spoke recently. And it was just a matter of gratitude. Arteta thanked him for his services and his time at Arsenal. And Ramsdale akarudisha mkono akasema, you know what?
Yes.
I'm also grateful for bringing me into the Arsenal side, making me make my Champions League debut and have higher goals. So Ramsdale said that he also felt a certain type of way in his time during Arsenal when Raya came in.
After Raya,
he tried to fight for his number, but he saw that Mikel Arteta had made up his mind. But they have parted ways in good terms.
Right? Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that game, which is imesha anza. It's 2 minutes in, still 0-0. So next up, Mungu Halali from man like Blinky Bill. That is Quiz na Papa Jones, Nairobi remix, playing through right on baze.co.ke. Mr. Bill in the building.
Ronnie Randy.
This is play by play, whereby we talk matters sports. So Ronnie, real quick, Nations League zilikuwa zinaendelea. So the other weekend during the international break ilikuwa ni match day 1. So match day 2 may happen last weekend alafu during the week. So real quick tukaangalia results haraka. So we had Luxembourg wakiplay against Belarus, of which Belarus will win that game 1-0.
Yes.
Bulgaria versus Northern Ireland, Bulgaria walishinda 1-0. Denmark versus Serbia, Denmark won it 2-0. Slovakia versus Azerbaijan, Slovakia won it 2-0. Then Gibraltar versus Liechtenstein ended on a 2-2 draw. Then the game of the week, ningesema ilikuwa Scotland versus Portugal, of which Portugal ended up winning that game 2-1. And guess who? Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 901 goal on that one.
So he's 99 goals shy of the 1,000 goal landmark.
And do you feel atafika 1,000? You know aim, huh?
Atafika na atapita. I promise you, atapita.
Then we had Swaziland versus Spain, which ended Spain winning that game 4-1. Sweden versus Estonia. Sweden won that game 3-0. So Croatia versus Poland. So Croatia won that game 1-0. Cyprus versus Kosovo. So Kosovo won that game 4-0. Then we had Iceland versus Turkey. So Turkey won that game 3-1. France versus Belgium, of which France won that game 2-0. And then we had Slovenia versus Kazakhstan, ended with Slovenia winning that game 3-0. Romania versus Lithuania, so Romania won that 3-1. Israel versus Italy, Italy won that game 2-1. Norway versus Austria, Norway won that game 2-1, of which ilibaki nani ameumia, right?
Martin Odegaard.
Yes. It's going to be a miss. We're going to look into that, how Arsenal are going to miss him and cope up with him. Then we had Montenegro versus Wales. Wales won that game 2-1. Then we had Latvia versus the Faroe Islands. Then Latvia won that game 1-0. Ireland versus Greece. So Greece ilibaki imeshinda that game 2-0. Albania versus Georgia. Georgia won that game 1-0. Then England versus Finland. the lands, England won that 2-0. Then the Czech Republic versus Ukraine, the Czech Republic won that game 3-2. Then tukimalizia Andorra versus Malta won that game 1-0. Netherlands versus Germany ended on a 2-2 draw. Hungary versus Bosnia ended on a draw of 0-0.
Yes.
Then Northern Macedonia versus Armenia. Northern Macedonia won that game 2-0.
So which particular match stood out for you, Mr. Billy?
Netherlands versus German. You know, I'm a big fan of German. The German. And it ended on a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
But interesting was this game, I really expected German to win it easily, but it wasn't that easy. So we had a man like Undav scoring for German.
Yeah.
Then Joshua Kimmich as the debut, as the captain of German.
Yeah.
On his debut as the captain of German, also Ali Bakiame scored that. But if you look at the statistics of that game, German had everything on the higher ends. You look at the shots, so the Germans walikuwa na 21, Netherlands had 11. It was interesting, man. And I was asking myself, kwani Netherlands, if I wanna depay, hawezi strike?
I don't think for Netherlands it's a matter of having Depay. For the Dutch team, I think there might be a feeling of comfortability. Maybe wameanza kuwa a bit comfortable. And thing with getting a bit too comfortable is when such mistakes happen, like the ones that the lead had,
Yes.
is that psyche inashuka.
Yep.
Because again, you believe in your abilities, but one or two slips here and there, they shake your mentality.
Yeah.
But as for me, the match that stood out was Spain against Switzerland.
Yes. And that was...
It stood out because Spain got a red card at the 20th minute.
Yes.
Now, that is a whole lot of 70 minutes
Of playing.
for Switzerland to run riot against the Spanish. But the Spanish...
they were the superior side.
They were the superior side. They went on to score 4 goals.
Yes. Joselu, then we had Fabian Ruiz, he scored a brace. Then we had a man like Ferran Torres. Yes.
So the thing with this Spanish side is that they took their chances. They let the Swiss have the ball, maintain the tempo of the game, but each and every time they were going forward.
Yes.
They looked like a threat, and they managed to put 4 past Switzerland. 10 man. Now, if that is not a team that is supposed to worry you in the next coming competitions, be it the Euro or the World Cup or any tournament,
Yes.
even this particular Nations League,
Yeah.
then you need to ask yourself questions.
And when you ask yourself questions, you better have the answers.
You better have the answers. Even the Swedes and the Dutch side,
Yeah.
they better have the answers.
Yes. And now real quick to Kingia South America, it was interesting. So the World Cup qualifiers pia zilikuwa zinahappen on that side.
Yes.
So Paraguay versus Colombia. So Colombia won that game 1-0.
Beautiful match.
Yes.
James Rodriguez feels like a youngster again.
It's good to see like Rodriguez is back in his element. Man. It's interesting. Then we had Ecuador versus Chile. Ecuador won that game 1-0. Uruguay versus Bolivia. Uruguay won that game 3-0. Brazil versus Argentina. Argentina won that game 1-0 and Brazil were given a red card. Then Peru versus Venezuela. So it ended on a 1-1 draw. Then match day 7 of 18, we had Bolivia versus Venezuela, of which Bolivia won that game 4-0.
Yeah.
Argentina versus Chile,
Yes.
of which ended Argentina winning that game 3-0.
Okay.
Then Uruguay versus the Paraguay team 0-0. Then Brazil won against Ecuador. I love Peru versus Colombia, of which ended on a 1-1 draw. But now the last matches, real quick, we had Colombia versus Argentina, of which Colombia won that game 2-1. Again, Rodriguez.
Kudos.
Yes. Ecuador versus Peru ended on Ecuador winning 1-0. And then Chile versus Bolivia. We had Bolivia winning that game 2-1. Venezuela versus Uruguay, ilisha draw. Alafu, now the interesting part is Brazil was beaten by Paraguay 1-0.
Now, talking of interesting things,
Yes.
when we come right back,
Yes.
we'll be telling you how the Harambee
Stars.
was starting up the Kenyan flag
Yes.
away at Namibia.
Yes.
We'll be right back. This is Baze Radio.
So next up, Show Me from the Exit Band featuring Furthermore na Koloblu. It's very interesting to see that Southampton wamepoteza penalty. A man like Archer amepoteza that one. Rodi, nasikia roho imetulia.
No, imetulia, but honestly being a Manchester United fan is stressful. Stressful.
Unahitaji Jibagajat, right?
More.
Jibagajat, stupid boy Daloyoyo Leintini, playing through right on Baze.co.ke. Play by play, the name of the show, Mr. Bill in the building.
Ronnie Randy.
So Ronnie, this hour is all about news and some of the headlines ambazo zimekuwa zikihappen in the sporting world. So tutakuwa tunaangalia Harambee Stars. Harambee Stars walishine na mtu pale hivyo in the name of Namibia. Alafu Ben Chilwell is back in the Chelsea squad, and that was announced by a man like Enzo Maresca, and tutakuwa tuna find out pia aliongea na Joao Felix and Sancho akawaambia, you know, like when you come here hapa hakuna joke. So we are going to look into that in more details. Plus kuna a lot of rumors bado zina happen when it comes to transfer. I believe bado watu wanaweza move, especially the free agents. Anthony Marshall bado hajapata team. I don't know, sijui akuje Gor Mahia,
akikuja anaweza fanya mambo,
akuje kushena Gor Mahia, si ndio?
Pia tunaweza mpatia nationality ya Kenya kwa sababu nyota yetu
Olunga
imerudi.
Olunga engineer nyota yetu iko back,
nyota yetu iko back.
Yeah, so for this and many more news to come, also tutakuwa tunaangalia the local league is back, what is happening in the local league, and pia tutakuwa tunaangalia internationally kunaenda aje. Jude Bellingham atashinda Ballon d'Or, ama ni rumors tu. Vinicius Junior, nina happen na Brazil pia. All this and many more to come right here on Baze.co.ke. All you need to do is just don't touch that dial. Na tulikuwa tumeuliza swali the first hour. Ronnie, maybe if you remind the listeners, ile swali tulikuwa tumeuliza.
Swali tulikuwa tumeuliza is, do you think Kenya needs to set up more facilities, invest more resources and time and energy to fund more sporting activities
other than just athletics? In athletics rather, inafaa tukue na mbio ama tukue pia na other events, right?
Yeah, we should also have more events because talent tuko nayo, space tuko nayo, na jamaa wetu wa kutenga
atenge kitu So next up, TikTok the remix, Run Scooby Major and Scam Cardinali kicheza through, so keep it Baze. Liverpool watuletee tena, watuletee turudie hii game. Inafaa turudie hii game yetu na Liverpool,
ndio season imeanza.
Yes, I feel like walituibia.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, but in other news, Harambee Stars walikuwa wanacheza na Namibia. That is on Tuesday 10th.
Oh yes.
All the way in South Africa, right?
Yes.
And ilibaki Harambee Stars wameshinda that game 2-1. And now they are top of the group with the 4 points. And the interesting part is the Cameroonian goalkeeper, man like Andre Onana, alibaki amesema ya kwamba the only team in that group that is giving them a threat is only Kenya.
Now that is the truth.
Yes.
That is the truth because Kenya, we do have a very, very solid squad. We are talented from the back into the midfield and up front.
Yes.
Thing is, maybe we don't have, we haven't found a gelling system. We haven't worked on our chemistry on the training ground.
Yes.
But on paper and even on the pitch, Harambee Stars is always a threat. Walking into any tournament, be it the Sekafa, be it the AFCON qualifiers, be it the World Cup qualifiers,
yes,
they know. When it comes to this East African team, mambo ni shwari bana.
So do you feel like Harambee Stars automatize on top of the group? Because they are number 1 with 4 points after 2 games. So they won 1 and drew against Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Then number 2 is Cameroon, again with 4 points. But sasa Harambee Stars, they have a bigger goal difference as compared to Cameroon. Then number 3 is Zimbabwe with the 2 points. Alafu the last team is Namibia with the 0 points. Out of the 2 games they have played, they have lost all of them.
Well, Harambee Stars should be able to come out on top. And even if they don't, they will have proven that they are more than just a threat into this particular group. Because, again, as you can see, we are topping the table with 4 points.
Yes.
So that is a win and a draw. If when the games come at home, we should be able to entertain our fans, bana.
And doing that, yeah?
Yeah.
So speaking of Harambee Stars, and I saw this circulate online, man like Jacob Gostmulei, who was a coach for Harambee Stars at some point.
Yes.
Alikuwa anasema FKF, they still owe him 2.8 million in terms of the salary arrears. And also other coaches who have been in the place of Harambee Stars or coach Harambee Stars, also they are being owed some money. So, and one of the reason why we have the FKF election, and one of the candidates alikuwa anaongelelea akisema kwamba is going to make sure that FKF wanatoa pesa on time, they pay their staff and everybody on time, also the players. Unakumbuka ile siku at Victor Wanyama alikuwa analipia watu flight.
Yes.
FKF wamekata kutoa pesa.
Yes.
So do you feel also hiyo ni one of the aspect that inafanya like the performance of the team is not the way it's supposed to be, because hapa tulishaina Namibia, so how sure we are going to defeat hata Cameroon? How sure are we tutamaliza number 1 in that group? AFCON is coming, itakuwa home. Are we able to go past the group stages ama tutapigwa group stages? So like hii mambo ya pesa, why is it it's always about money? Why?
I love the terms that you're using. FKF wamekata. Thing with any individual in any professional, one of the best motivations is
Pesa.
finances.
Yes.
Money.
Yes.
Kama unalipwa, trust you me, even the person paying you is able to hold you accountable, is able to demand quality services.
Yes.
Now, vile umesema FKF inakata kutoa do, it is probably the truth. It is might be close to the truth, because again, we know FIFA releases funds
every calendar year.
Every calendar year
of all the seasons.
Yes. So FKF should be able to release funds to support local teams, to support the Harambee Stars. And it might be true that Ghost Mule is being owed
2.8 million
shillings.
Yes.
Now that is not just small money.
Yeah,
that is a whole load of money. But in the new elections,
yes,
whichever person who will be the new FKF president, they should be able to make these changes. They should be able to make swift changes and improve the FKF. Definitely.
Yeah, so we are almost towards the halftime of the game between Southampton and Manchester United, the early kickoff in the English Premier League. And as we said, or as I said earlier on, Manchester United are leading that game 2-0 nil, man like Marcus Rashford and Delete. And I said, uliniulizia swali, who do you feel is going to be the game changer of this game? Nikakwambia Delete, he has a point to prove.
Yes.
And you have seen he has scored a goal.
Definitely.
Bruno Fernandes with the assist. Marcus Rashford is back. I said also he has a point to prove.
Oh, yes.
And an assist from a man like Amad Diallo. So if you had Diallo on your team, if you had Rashford on your team, Delete on your team, or Bruno Fernandes on your fantasy team, already sayuko na points, but kama if you didn't have any of them, I'm sorry, hauna point yoyote sahi, right?
Hauna pointi iko Manchester.
Oh, yes. So next up ni Kishash Lil Maina featuring Ndovu Kuu. Yeah, so Ronnie, in the background there you can hear the game between Manchester United and Southampton. Second half, you may kick off, and still Manchester United are leading that game 2-0, and the goals are courtesy of a man like Delete and Rashford. So tutakuwa keep an eye on that game. This is play-by-play right on baze.co.ke. Mr. Bill in the building.
Ronnie Randy.
So Ronnie, tulikuwa na ile discussion a time back tukisema ya kwamba Enzo Maresca amecome into Chelsea team and he has make the changes, and kuna some players of which they were on the act side, right?
Yes.
So a man like Sterling, of which alibaki kama join Arsenal because alikuwa ameambiwa there is no future for you here at Chelsea. A man like Ben Chilwell pia alikuwa on the list of being sold, but after the transfer window imefungwa, nobody approached his
Chelsea.
camp or Chelsea for his signature.
Yes.
So in recent days nimeona Enzo Maresca akisema Ben Chilwell is probably going to be back with us in training and is going to start training with the first team. So definitely we will see him back in the team. So are you excited as a football fan to see Chilwell again amepata home? Ama if ungekuwa Chilwell ungefanyaje? Ungetoka because at the end of the day ulikuwa disrespected from the word go, and then now unaambiwa like you will be back in the team again.
Oh, well, obviously long term I'd be looking to exit the team just as things stand.
Yes.
Up until there is some sort of change. When I say change, I mean maybe now I feel valued, I feel respected, my minutes on the pitch are making sense.
They are assured, yeah?
They are assured. My starting place is also assured. So up until I can see those changes, then I can not decide to leave. But as we are speaking, even if I am back in the team and training with the first team and playing, I'd still feel that I'm probably not in the long-term plans for this manager and for this club. So I'd be looking to
it look for elsewhere.
Yeah.
For game time and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So Mazraoui amepiga the side net, almost scoring that goal. Ingekuwa interesting. Amad Diallo is bowling with assist in this game, man, but still inabaki 2-0 in favor of Manchester United. And now to keep it in Chelsea, also Enzo during his press conference akasema pia the reason why a man like Palmer and Romeo Lavia, Wes Fofana are out of the conference league squad is because they are trying to protect them, right? And a thing is like wasol kwa kusema hizo teams ziko kwa league, like when it comes to the conference league,
yes,
you get them, their pitches are not standard, they're not like pitches that a team like Chelsea should be playing.
Okay.
So we have instances whereby injuries accrue.
Yes.
And I believe like our Chelsea, they're trying to cement a position in the league in that next season we'll qualify for the Champions League, or they win a trophy, either an FA, a Carabao Cup, even the league PM. So they're trying to protect their key players.
Yes.
And honestly, a man like Palmer has been dope so far since his move from Manchester City to Chelsea.
Yes.
And Fofana amekuwa out for an injury for the longest time. And now I feel like this should be his season, and also Enzo Maresca aliona that as a way of protecting them. I'm not going to include them in the squad.
Well, for Fofana and for this other guy, not called Palmer, Romeo Lavia.
Yes, also pia him injury prone, alikuja na injury, so pia again I feel like it's his season.
Yeah, so if I was in that advisory team,
yes,
for Enzo Maresca, one thing I'd tell him is register Romeo Lavia and Fofana for the Conference League, mainly because those are not going to be intense matches. Those are not matches that are going to demand a lot from them physically.
They're going to be light matches.
Exactly. Unlike the English Premier League or the FA or the Carabao
Cup.
Yeah, better yet, they have qualified to play for the Club World Cup.
Yes, the Club World Cup.
Yeah, so as you see, those are players that when they get those minutes in the Conference League, they get also to build on their confidence. Now, when you bring them back into the Premier League, where they are going to be demanded a lot physically and mentally, then we're going to see progress. But again, you never know where the coach is going with this.
Yes.
It's his call, it's his decision. Let us just wait.
Rashford with an open chance there, but amepiga over the bar. So bado Rashford hajaweza kuconvert that into a goal. And lastly, tukimalizia na Chelsea, also Maresca added that he spoke with Sancho and João Felix, and when they joined, and he told them that if you come here and don't work properly, then you are not going to play, right? And that's the issue I had with the Sancho, right? At Manchester United, I felt like his work ethic was a little bit of like he wasn't 100% at Manchester United. Since his fallout with Eric Ten Hag, that guy has never shown his greatness when it comes to how he plays. And he went to Dortmund, yeah, and he played well.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, João Felix, I felt at Atletico Madrid he had the same attitude, yeah.
Yes.
After his fallout with
Diego Simeone.
With the Diego Simeone, also he didn't show the passion for the team, and now he ended up going on loan at Barcelona. Now, when he came back, he wanted to go. He did not want even to go back to Atletico Madrid because Barcelona, they didn't meet the clause of having him on the team, right?
Yes.
So do you feel like Sancho and João Felix watakuwa a difference for Chelsea?
Sancho and João Felix should definitely be a difference for Chelsea because first things first is they are talented. Speaking of Sancho, is that Sancho is talented, especially when it comes to 1v1. João Felix also has an epic eye for goal.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to their work ethic, I don't think it can be questioned away from their parent clubs.
Yes.
Now they're in Chelsea. Let us see what they bring to the table.
Okay, that's true. So next up, wacha tusikize Rede. This is from Gina Ideal. Then when we come back, tunaangalia more when it comes to the sporting news.
That is Brentford at the Etihad Stadium. Now Everton will be facing it off against Aston Villa. Will be an interesting match to see how Amadou Onana will be faring on. Also,
against his former team. Yeah?
Against his former team. Also, Ashley Young. Chelsea will be traveling away to Bournemouth.
An interesting game to watch.
An interesting match to watch.
Yes.
Tomorrow will be the North London derby. That is Spurs against Arsenal. So Arsenal will be the away team. Closing off at the weekend will be Newcastle against Wolves at the Molineux Stadium.
Yes. So, which fixture are you so excited about in the Premier League? Gani you are so excited to see?
Particularly as a Manchester United fan.
Yes.
My favorite fixture is almost coming to a close. Manchester United against Southampton. But I'll be looking forward to see Aston Villa against Everton because Everton are yet to seal a win in this current season.
Yes.
And Aston Villa are looking to continue their good form.
Yeah.
So that will be one that I'll be looking forward to see how it goes.
I'm looking forward to watching Bournemouth versus Chelsea.
Interesting.
You see, all hopes were on Chelsea after they thrashed Wolves. 6 goals to 2, right?
Yes.
But now the following game pia wakafanya ile kitu.
Unakuwa tuned, unatuniwa kidogo.
Kwa tuned haraka. So and we are yet to see how that game will go. So like una feeling Chelsea bado hawajapata the the structure they want to play with. They have the talents, yes, but now to merge those guys to have a performance that is set for success is still a problem with them because you don't understand who's going to start. Even as a Chelsea fan, hujui nani atakuwa kwa squad, nani atakuwa kwa squad. Like it's interesting. Then another game that I would love to see is Manchester City versus Brentford.
Yes.
Last time, Ivan Toney did that thing when he was playing for Brentford, but he's not there. But also, particularly going to look for a man like Haaland. As my captain of the Fantasy Premier League team, I have to watch out for him.
Lazima.
Yeah, akifunga hat-trick tena niko kwa mafuta leo.
Interesting enough, a man from Holland.
Yes.
He came from Borussia Dortmund. That is in the Bundesliga. And Borussia Dortmund will not be playing today, rather will be playing tomorrow.
Yes.
Jumping all the way to the Bundesliga.
The Bundesliga, right.
So Borussia Mönchengladbach will be facing it off against VfB Stuttgart. Freiburg will be playing against newly promoted side Bochum. Hoffenheim against defending champions. Xabi Alonso's side, Bayer Leverkusen.
My Bayer Leverkusen.
Your Bayer Leverkusen.
Unaisema my Bayer Leverkusen.
Your Bayer Leverkusen. Mr. Billy's Bayer Leverkusen. RB Leipzig will be playing against Union Berlin. Wolfsburg against Eintracht Frankfurt. Hostel Kiel against Bayern Munich. Now, these are matches that are going to be played this weekend.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
For tomorrow, this is how it's looking. Sorry, Borussia Dortmund
played yesterday, yes, and they won that game 4-2. Yes.
Interesting. Augsburg tomorrow will be playing against St. Pauli. Mainz against Werder Bremen. And the Bundesliga for this particular weekend will be wrapped up by those particular matches.
Yes, so I'll be watching out for my Bayern Leverkusen. Which atakuwa anacheza against Hoffenheim. I'm going to see that. Of course, Bayern Munich watashinda that game. It's a piece of cake.
Definitely.
But interesting enough, you realize that Bayern Munich, I don't know, will they win the league again this time?
Because they surely look like they are now fighting to win the league because they realize they got a bit too comfortable. Yes. Remember what I told you about the Dutch team? That is what happened to this particular Bayern Munich team. Up until your Bayer Leverkusen did the thing.
My Bayern Leverkusen.
Your Bayer Leverkusen.
You're saying, yeah, so if we cross over to the local league real quick before we go to that commercial break,
yes,
is that we have a couple of matches that are scheduled to be played, and it's excited to see that we have a game, or rather we have games today. So City Stars, they will be facing off against Bidco United. Then we have Sofapaka against Atalanta.
Yes.
Gor Mahia against Ulinzi Stars, which it was postponed. It was supposed to be played today, but it was postponed. We are going to find out when. Then we have Wataska against K-Sharks. And then tomorrow tutakuwa na Kakamega Homeboyz versus Mathare United.
Yes.
Moranga Seals versus KCB. Bandari versus Mara Sugar.
Yes.
AFC Leopards. Chingwe versus Posta Rangers. That's an interesting game. And then a game between Shabana and Police was postponed. I don't know why they're postponing these games, but we are going to find out what happened. So next up tusikize Marathon Runner from Nyashinsky. When we come back tutakuwa tunaingia La Liga, Serie A, then tutakuwa tunaingia League 1. So keep it Baze Radio.
What a feeling Playing right here on Baze Radio. Ron Randy is my name.
Mr. Bill in the building.
Play by play is what we are doing right here now. Mr. Billy.
Yes.
Before we left, you were talking about the FKF Premier League and its fixtures, and you wanted to inquire on why the matches are being postponed.
The matches are being postponed because we have two games. The game between Shabana FC, my Shabana FC versus Police, it was postponed to be played later. Then Gor Mahia versus Ulinzi Stars, which I felt ingekuwa game of the week or game of the weekend. Now AFC Leopards and Posta Rangers is going to be game of the week. But so the game between Gor Mahia and Ulinzi Stars, it has been postponed. Then the game between Shabana and Police also postponed. Ulikuwa niambia something why these games are being postponed.
Yes, these games are being postponed mainly because first these particular teams si wote wako na viwanja. So they're being postponed because obviously they are playing facilities.
They're sharing pitches, right?
They're sharing pitches.
Yes.
And the FKF Premier League has to balance. Kiwanja moja isitumike sana, iishe, iharibike, and yet we have a whole season to play matches on these particular grounds.
Yes, but in Kenya, do we have any club with a home ground?
No.
It's just a home ground.
As the Kenyan economy,
yes,
bado hatujafika hiyo place. Hatujafika hiyo place. We might be able, but sidhani we are financially disciplined to do that.
Yeah, but Thika wako na kiwanja.
As in, yes, wako nayo. Hata Murang'a Seals wako na ground.
Wako na ground, right? Like it's not up to
City
the
Stadium ilikuwa home ground ya
City Stars.
Ya Kogalo.
Ilikuwa ya Kogalo.
Ilikuwa home ground. Ilikuwa home ground ya pale Gor Mahia ilikuwa ikikushika. Unapigwa kiboko.
And then now when you look at also some breaking news. Taarifa.
Msikilizaji.
Unajua you have to taarifa. Yenye inatoka inatoka kiwanja ya Southampton.
St. Mary's Stadium.
St. Mary's.
All vibes courtesy of the great Manchester
United.
There you go.
Tupatie taarifa.
Alejandro Garnacho.
Tupatie taarifa. Unasema pole pole na swag.
Okay. Alejandro Garnacho has just scored a nice goal.
So that game side, it is 3-0 and Garnacho off the bench. Hey manze, mimi niko bola sahi, ametoka bench amefunga na ako kwa timu yangu.
I told you Garnacho will do the thing.
Yeah.
All you had to do was just release some pressure.
Release some pressure, sindio?
Yes.
So msikizaji, I want you to listen to the goal. So here comes the goal.
Took a while to get going. Now Dallo, can they set the seal on him with goal number 3? They can indeed. Garnacho.
Yes, so that is Garnacho's goal. Goal number 3. Amefungwa dakika ya 90 plus 6 minutes. So that game is almost coming to an end. So Ronnie, real quick, wacha tuingie hapa Serie A. Hapa tusikia Serie A wanasema aje.
Kama wako na siri.
Yes, natuambie siri yao ni gani.
Alejandro Garnacho with that beautiful goal, an assist from Diogo Dalot.
So
keep going.
Dalot on my team. Garnacho on my team.
Manchester United, your team.
I'm smiling now.
The weekend is good.
The weekend is good. So Serie A, right about now there's a game that is ongoing. Iko dakika 25. This is Bologna versus Como.
Yes.
And Como are leading that goal 1-0. Then later today at 7 p.m. we'll have Empoli versus Juventus. AC Milan versus Venezia.
Yes.
Genoa versus Roma. That is tomorrow. Atlanta versus Fiorentina tomorrow. And then Torino versus Lecce tomorrow. And then tuko na Calgary versus Napoli tomorrow. Monza versus Inter. Then tuko na Udinese versus Parma. Also that is tomorrow. And then on Monday, the game between Udinese and Parma is on Monday. Lazio versus Verona. Also it's going to be played on Monday. So which game are you looking forward to in the Serie A?
The Juventus match against Empoli is going to be an interesting match because if you look at the table, Juventus are at number 2 with tying at points and goal difference with Inter.
Yes.
But they are looking to win this particular league. So Empoli also is a nice challenge this early of the season.
Yes.
Just a few tests here and there, a few back and forth tuone kama kweli fahari wawili wakipigana ni nyasi inaumia.
Nyasi ndio inaumia.
Ama hiyo wahenga walikuwa jaba.
I'm looking forward to seeing AC Milan.
Okay.
AC Milan versus Venezia. Yeah, it's always a fixture that do come with goals.
Yes.
But Italy pia for the longest time unapatanga draws. But since the beginning of the season, AC Milan, they have not been putting in the performance that they're supposed to be putting in, because they're at number 15 right now, and they're only having 3 points out of not 3 points. They're having 2 points out of a possible 9 points. So it means that they have drawn 2 games. Right?
Yes.
And they have lost 1 game, of which it's interesting to see. I'm a fan of AC Milan because of the history and how they play well. But I'm here to see how they will be performing on that game. So that game, it will be played tomorrow, and we're here to see how the results zitakuwa zinaendelea. So young Puffy from Octopizo. So tukikam back tutakuwa tunaingia La Liga, and then tumalizie na League 1 tukifunga show style. Sawa?
Keep it Baze.
But if you're joining in, Manchester United, your game imeisha, and Manchester United, they have thrashed, they have humbled Southampton.
Oh yes,
3 goals to nil.
Yes.
This is Baze Radio.
We are 254 to the core.